My name is Francis Kalafa. I came from Uganda and I work in Uganda with the children's home. I have eight children in a home who are basically orphans. Some were orphaned because of HIV/AIDS. The parents died. And others are just abandoned children or kids from very, very poor families who cannot afford to take them to school. Combat child labor, I learned it from internet. As I was just going through Facebook, I saw it and I opened up and I decided to be a partner to this organization because they are doing a recommendable job by helping these kids not to be misused.
Yeah, we saw a lot along the road, a lot of children, little girls carrying lots of water, carrying wood, boys taking care of the livestock. I don't think they are exploited by someone business-wise, but it's just the way they have to provide for their part in the family. But it's heavy work for these children.
It is a common habit that you see everywhere in the village, but people don't think about it when they are making these children work. They think it is a normal lifestyle, a child to go to the garden and dig, a child to go and fetch water for a certain family, a child to go on the street and sell sugarcane the whole day. They don't realize that they're exploiting these children, but they are doing it. You see it everywhere. But I think it is time that we have to sensitize the communities and give these children a chance to live a normal life without being exploited.
In Ethiopia, the families, they use the children to do the work in the house. But the thing that bothered us the most was that the girls, they are carrying all this weight, and the a bit older boys, they do nothing. They just walk along the road with their hands in their pockets, and a few meters before them, the girls are like, so, and don't go to school when they're doing that. So,
very few people are doing something to prevent that from happening. Though we see Combat Child, they're doing a recommendable job. They've started in Nairobi, I wish they come to Uganda as well to help sensitize the people. The only thing we can do is to sensitize the community and tell them, no, you cannot do it this way, try another way to fulfill these jobs that have to be done.
Yeah, it's difficult because we talked to someone and he said that sometimes there's a child of 15 years or something working, and then people say, oh, but that's child labor. But this child of 15 is a girl and she has 4 children already herself. So that way for us 15 is still really a child, and in our luxury cultures they can go to school and play and everything is okay. But here they are much more independent already. We've been with some kids who go to secondary school, and then there's a boy and his sister. She's 24, she has 4 kids, no job, no husband. And then you think, yeah, for some of the older kids, not of 8 or 5 years, but some of 15, 16 years old, having a job might help them earn a living and provide for their children. So that way I think it would be better to, for those kind of things, it would be good to promote family planning. Because in Ethiopia we also saw that people have 5 kids, 6 kids, 8 kids, and they can't provide for them because they don't earn enough or they don't have enough food on the land. Whereas if you would get them to do a bit of family planning so they wouldn't have 6 or 8 children but only 2, then it would be much more easy to provide for them and to get them to school.
Advocacy will be the best point to begin with. And then secondly, I would think that Combat Child should go to the community and meet these children, and not only meeting them, have a practical solution to their problem. Because some of them are working because they need money to buy food at home. They are working because maybe they stay with the grandmother who is old, who cannot go to the garden to dig. And as such, you find that the father of the child died and the grandmother is living with the kid. So the kid has to go and work in the sugarcane plantation, to go and sell bananas on the road, to go and carry sugarcane to the market, to split firewood for people in order to get money to feed the grandmother, and together with the child. But I think again, these are hungry children who need something to eat, and there's nobody to give them something to eat.
And we saw a really good project in Kibera where a foundation, they made sure the kids weren't walking on the streets. They gave them shelter and they gave them preschool training. And then they sponsored them to go to school, and they helped the women get a microfinance loan. And we talked to these women and we asked them, how many children do you have and are they going to school? And they said, yeah, we have, well, 2 or 3 or 4 kids. And they go to school, and they went to private school because public school is not so good, we heard. And they said, well, so they don't earn a lot of money, but the money they earn, they get the kids to private school. So getting the mums to or get organized and to be able to work, because the children then are not walking down the streets. That was a good combination of getting them to get a living, and in the meantime getting the children to go to school. So those kind of projects, they really help.
Well, in Uganda I've seen some groups of people have started by street children feeding program, which is very, very successful. However, I think they forget that kids are not only on the street who are being exploited, there are others in the village. And I'd wish that they could extend that program to the villages and start feeding program for the kids in the village, so they have also something to eat and not to go to the people's garden to work and get little money to buy food for themselves.
If the mother has to work and there's no place for the children to be cared for, then they go wander around the streets, maybe do things they shouldn't do. That's well, makes it worse. So it was also a good way to see that if you can help the mothers to earn a living and in the meantime get the children to be in a good place, then you have the good combination. And for the government to invest in education is the main thing, you think? Yeah.
I think basically the major problem is poverty. It starts from that, and then other things just build up along the line. Like in Uganda, they say there's universal primary education, but I'm here helping 88 kids to be able to go to school, because this education is there, but then the government is not giving uniform to the children. The government will not buy for them shoes. The government will not pay for their lunch. The government will not buy for them books and pens. The parents have to do it. And so I think someone has to come in, like we are doing in Uganda, and say, oh, look, I want to help this child go to school. Yes, the government is giving the tuition, but I'll buy uniform, buy books, give him food to eat lunchtime, because they cannot learn on an empty stomach. And maybe poor performance in school is as a result of a child being hungry. So if you provide food for this child, he'll concentrate in class, and eventually you have good products at the end of the school. There is a lot that has to be done, but there are very few people who are willing to do it, because this work goes with a lot of sacrifice and going extra mile, because to reach out to a child, you need to bend down to the child's level. And which adult wants to do that? It calls for people who have love for the children, people who have joy to see that a child is growing up in love and in good care like another child, in order to do that.